Mine here. Thank you, honey. Now, mind when you finish the stick up here. Come here. All right, and y'all are going to need calculators today, so if you want, get a calculator. Or a couple people can hand out calculators since we're doing it all at once, if y'all want to be so kind. And who knows everybody's name in here? Anybody know everybody's name? Can't get that lucky today, can I? Let's see if I can open up draw. All right, this is the schedule you guys are supposed to follow, other than apparently I'm not sorry about that. Right? First part.
I told you.
I need that one at this point. Who's Darren? Other than anyone on Howard School. Here's a stuck to somebody, so get whoever's is stuck to off the bottom. Or did I only get one? I only got one. Okay, do what now?
Do we need a bunch or can we use it?
You can use those. You just have to have some kind of way to organize yourself.
Okay.
I don't care. However you want to do it. All right. So we don't know who Darian Pittman is. You probably have that changed. And Max is just absent. All right. The first unit we're going to do, and I'll warn you now, my handwriting is not all that stellar. It's not terrible, but it's not all that great. All right. And I write a lot simply because I talk fast, and if I write, I don't go as fast. Now, the first unit we're going to do is on measurement. A lot of what we're going to do in the first week is not on the exam. However, all of the skills are valuable for what we're going to do during the course of the semester. And for those of you who have any interest in the science field in college, if you have to take college chemistry, everything that I'm going to teach you is going to be taught in college chemistry. If AP Biology makes, or you have to do any conversions in AP Environmental Science, everything that I'm going to teach you is useful there. So I haven't eliminated it from the curriculum. Now, first of all, what is measurement? Measurement is a unit of defined size. All right. Most of us think at this point in terms of English units. All right, give me some English units you're familiar with.
Pound.
All right, pounds. Give me another one you're familiar with. Feet.
Ounces.
Ounces. Now, every one of those is something most of you can relate to because you've used it your whole life. Okay? Now, to illustrate measurement and it being a unit of defined size, one that I often use in class is a dozen. Okay? That's the one that I usually use to illustrate the unit of defined size. So I'm at the point there for defined size. All right, if I say 1 dozen, everybody in here knows it means what? 12. So if you went to the bakery and you ordered a dozen donuts, you would know you're supposed to have how many in the box? 12. And if you only got 11 donuts, you would know you've been short. Okay? If we were going to go into a carpentry class and you had feet up there, which you listed, you would know that a foot was supposed to be how many inches? 12. Everybody in here would know that I couldn't use Alex's feet and Janet's feet to measure from this wall to that wall because do they have the same size feet? No, we have no idea how far it is from this wall to that wall because their shoe size is not the same. So we have to have some defined size, right? Now, in science, we use what are referred to as SI units. SI units stand for System International. Or you can flip that around and say International System of Units. Now, we're going to talk about, I think it's 5 units, and we're going to talk about their common units because sometimes their SI units aren't the ones that are the most easy or the most relative to use. So we're going to look at, let's say we do length first because that's an easy one that most people can do. Let's do mass. Let's do time. Let's do temperature. And then we're going to do the amount of substance.
All right, Ms. Wall,
Yes, ma'am.
you have another one, Mr. Max.
Cool. He's the one I'm missing. Max, you belong right up here next to Antoine. Here is, they print you a schedule because I got one in blue for you if you'd rather have a nice colored one. And will you grab one of those info sheets back there and fill that out for me too? Yeah, that'll work. So let me mark you here, and I'm not going to mark you late. Just like I told everybody else, since it's day 1, I won't take tardies till tomorrow. Apparently Darian is supposed to be in here. Absent. put him on C chart. His name is Darian Pitt. All right, everybody caught up? All right, tell me something we know about length. Now, when we talk about System International, do we use English units like I referred to back here on the board? Do we use English units? No, okay? As scientists this semester, we're going to use metric units, okay? So instead of English units, think metrics for what we're going to do on this. All right, so can you give me anything in metrics for length?
Meter.
All right, so is meter going to be the SI unit or is it going to be a common unit? It's the SI unit. All right, so give me some derivative of meter that can be the common unit. Because we can't measure, for example, if we wanted to measure the length of my pen, would we measure it with a meter stick? No, because a meter stick would be way too long for this pen. So think of something that's smaller that we could measure this pen in. What? Sure, centimeters. So centimeters would be a common unit. Can you give me one more? Sure, millimeters. That's smaller yet. Can you give me something that's bigger? Now, inches will be English. How would I measure the distance from here to Tyro? Kilometers. And you can say kilometers or kilometers, either one. Both pronunciations are acceptable. Okay? All of those are common units. They're derivatives of meter. Okay? But inches, feet, all of those things are English units, so we don't use those. All right? Mass. How are we going to find a mass? What unit would be acceptable for mass? Remember, no pounds or ounces. Those are English units. Who? I think I heard something. Grams, okay? Now, is grams going to be the SI unit or the common unit? What? That's what most people think, and it's a very good assumption, all right? But it's actually the common unit. Gram is the common unit. So what do you think the SI unit would be? Kilogram. Kilogram is the SI unit. They're actually flipped between length and mass. All right, time. What do you think the SI unit is for time? These are all normal units, y'all. These are not weird units. Give me some time units. Minutes, seconds, hours. All right, now one of those is the SI unit. It's just a guess for most of you. Which one do you think is the SI unit? It's actually seconds. Okay, so the SI unit is seconds. And so that means minutes, hours. Those are going to be your common units. Now you can have years, weeks. Those will also be common. All right, temperature. How many temperature units do you guys remember? All right, what are the two you remember? Fahrenheit and Celsius. All right, I hear a third one. What's the third one some people remember? Okay, it's Kelvin. All right, so which one of those is the SI unit? Yep, Kelvin is the SI unit. And Fahrenheit is the only English unit you will actually see in the semester. All right, and the last one, the amount of substance, no one will, well, you might know, but I'd be stunned. All right, the amount of substance is the mole. All right, and that's the reason you see moles throughout the room, okay? Because we do a lot with the mole this semester. Some of you will hate it by the end of the semester because it's our major converting unit throughout the semester. All right, questions about anything on that particular chart? Now, how many of you remember how to convert metrics? I can do it well. I got nobody? That's sort of scary. All right, it's not a problem. I'm going to teach you how to do it, and I'm going to teach you how to do it well. All right, so let's briefly talk about metrics. All right, everybody remembers it's base 10, right? Even if you don't remember anything else, you remember it's base 10. All right, can you remember kilo, hecto, deca? You had a baseline, deci, centi, and milli. Now, I know you remember this. You're just too shy to tell me. All right, somebody in elementary or middle school taught you how to remember the order of those units. Tell me what it was. There you go. Okay? For those of you who've never heard that before, because you all got taught this somewhere. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay. I didn't use that one when I started teaching. I use kids have dropped over dead converting metrics, but I stopped using it because y'all all knew that one. I guess it didn't sound too good in elementary school to learn it the other way. All right. Everybody knows who's bigger and who's smaller, right? All right. Who's bigger? Right. And who's smaller? The who? The milli. All right. So everybody remembers that as you go down, they get smaller. Everybody remembers that. The basics everybody's got. All right. Do we remember the abbreviations? All right, what's the abbreviation for kilo? K, just K. Okay, what's the abbreviation for hecto? H. What's the abbreviation for deca? What? DA. All right, for deci. D, just plain D. And then centi and milli. M. You must be Darian. Okay, you're the one I'm missing. You want a colored blue schedule? There you go. All right. I got a question on one.
Okay.
The dress.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I didn't know about that one.
They fine until they start fading out when you wash them.
And they don't look like
Yeah,
that.
jeans, yeah.
Cause they do look like that. But you feel like
All
that.
right, I'll get this one. Oh, happy day.
I was gonna say, we're gonna put you next door, Miss Rector.
Oh, everybody's so mad, but it's, look, they act like this is what we gonna do.
Huh? Say it again.
I
Yeah, but I was trying to figure out what you were doing, cause that white shirt doesn't have anything on it, correct? Huh? Let me see it, that's what I'm saying, you put the thing, I couldn't even
mean,
see
it
it.
has like, no, it's
No,
not a
come on,
Lexington
Lexi.
shirt, yeah.
Just, you see an extra. Let me see.
Yeah, look,
Say that one.
I'm not.
Leggings, but I just want, but not leadership. Future reference, okay? According to the SMART policy, if you wear leggings, and this is for everybody, because all of you all like to wear leg, not everybody, but a lot of you. Your shirt has to be fingertip length, not just long enough to cover the cup, but fingertip length. Everybody understand me? So if you come without a shirt long enough to cover your fingertips and you feel like it's long, we're still gonna make you change, okay? We're just doing our job. And you all know the smart policies on the internet. You got a pamphlet. Ms. Simpson has even created a quick little fact sheet that we passed out on Thursday. So time out for you all trying to get over. And if you come in smart, then we won't take you out of your classes. You need to be in class working, okay? Just come dressed appropriately. All right, thank you. You don't know what a client is?
All right, so are we okay on the abbreviations? All right, so if you see something that is on the baseline, what things are we going to put on the baseline? All right, we're going to start with liter, gram, and meter. So let's say that you see something like DM. What does DM mean? Okay, the first thing is the what? That's the prefix. And then the M is the base. So the prefix is D. Which one of these is the prefix? Jesse. And then M is the base. So which one of these is the base? Meter. So if I say CL, C is the what? The prefix, L is the base. So what does C stand for? Centi. And L is the what?
Liter.
Liter. Does that help? Yes or no? Does that bring some stuff back? Or am I too fast? You guys have to talk to me. Leave what just happened here out there. I can't fix that. Okay? So, if I have, everybody got what they need? Yes, no? Okay. So if I write D-A-G, what's D-A-G? All right. I heard decagram and I heard decigram. So go back here. Which one is it? It's decagram. Those are the two that are often mixed up. Okay? So deca and then gram. Are we okay? All right. You might have to review that tonight. All right. So we're going to learn to convert from one unit to another. Some of you are great at moving the decimal from one direction to the other. But we're going to put in cubed units today or tomorrow. And so you've got to be able to do something with the cubed units. Now, I do all conversions one way, all semester long. And so I teach it using what's called the factor label method. A lot of chemistry teachers do it this way. It's a method that's called unit cancellation. And so some of you will like it, some of you won't, but the vast majority of you, if you will do it this way, you will convert everything this way the entire semester. When we do mole conversions and we move from this into, the charts will grow in length. So once you master this, it makes converting all semester a lot easier. All right, so step one, draw a chart. You will often hear me refer to these as T-charts because they sort of look like a T. Number two, put the given data on the top line. Number three, put the unit you don't want on the bottom. The unit you do want on top. Number 5. Put a 1 next to the biggest unit. And number 6, count the places to fill in the last number. And those steps will not change other than number 6. We won't always be counting the places. Sometimes we will just fill in the number that we're given. All right, do we have everything written down or do I need to wait? Want to take a picture of it? Okay, that's fine. How many more you got, Lolly? You'll also be online at the end of class. I'll show you how to get to it in a minute, or by the end of class, because I forgot to do that. All right, so let's say that you guys have 452 centimeters and you want to change it to meters. Okay, some of you are going to remember how to move the decimals. Some of you won't. If you're like me, I could never remember whether to move it right or left. Okay, so draw a chart. Now, this is shorthand for math class. 2 parentheses over 2 parentheses. Now, this is a lot easier to write than this. What do these parentheses mean in math class? Multiply. This straight down line is the same thing as parentheses. It means multiply. What does this line right here mean? It means divide. Okay? Just like this line means divide. This is just a lot simpler to draw than all these parentheses and the divide line. Okay? So, get rid of that. Now, your given data goes on the top line. What did I give you in the question? How many centimeters? So 452 centimeters goes right here. For right now, we're not going to put anything down there. Anybody lost by step 1 or step 2? Draw the chart, given data on the top line. Now, step 3, what unit are we trying to get rid of? So it goes on the bottom. Centimeters goes on the bottom. Why did I put it on the bottom? We want it to do what? We want it to do what? We want it to cancel out. All right. The unit we do want goes where? On the top. Now, step 5. The unit that is the largest is going to get what? A 1. Okay. Did you notice back here? Did I tell you what any of these units have for numbers? Because we don't need to know what any of those units have for numbers. Hey, Mr. Al.
1.
So, that's why I asked you who was bigger and who was smaller. Because we need to know who's the biggest unit, stick a 1 next to it. Now, I gave you this one because this is one of the most missed questions. What do people think this is? It is a meter, but people don't think it's a meter. They look up here and they think it's a what? They think it's a millimeter. In order to be this millimeter, how many letters does it have to be a millimeter? It's got to have 2 letters, okay? Millimeter is 2 M's, okay? M by itself is meter, which is why I gave you this example. Because this question right here, when I put it on a quiz or a test, costs people more points than any other question. Because they make that mistake. They see that M and they're like, whoop, it's milli. And it's not. Where do you find that M? Where does it sit in that King Henry died? Where does a singular M sit? On the baseline. Okay? So this little M right here is right there on the baseline. So who's bigger, a meter or a centimeter? So we put a 1 with the meter. Now, the final step. We have to count the places between meter and centimeter. How many spaces are between meter and centimeter? Meter is here. To decimeter is 1. From deci to centi is how many? 2 spaces. These are all base 10s. That means a 0 for the first space, a 0 for the second space, and a 1. Now, to calculate that, what do? 452 times 1 divided by 100. 4.52 meters. Because centimeters did what? It canceled out. Questions about how I did that? Now, it looks like a lot, but it's not after you do it a couple times. All right, can we try another one? Can we try another one?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's say we have 1275 hectometers, and we're going to, let's go to millimeters. All right, so what do first? What? Thank you. All right, what do I put on top? They're giving information. What am I giving? Okay, so 1275 hectometers goes on top. All right. So what do I do from there? Step 3 is to put what on the bottom? The unit I don't want. What am I trying to get rid of? Hectometers. So hectometers goes on the bottom. Okay. The unit I do want goes on top. What do I want? Millimeters. Okay. Step 5. Who's bigger? King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Who's bigger? Hecto or milli? All right. So I'm putting a 1 beside hecto. Notice in this one, where was the bigger unit? On top. Where's the bigger unit? Doesn't matter where the bigger unit is. Wherever the bigger unit is, it gets a what? It gets a 1. All right, so hecto to milli. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I count the baseline? Yes, I did. So I counted how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, because I counted 5 places and a 1 in front of it. So this time it's 100,000. It's going to be a really large number when we put that in the calculator. 1, 2, 7, 5. Your calculator probably came up with 1.275. E7. Is that what it gave you? Anybody punch it in? It did? Shocked. Nobody got an X on it? Dang. Okay. And millimeters. Now, make sure you put your unit on your answer. If there's no unit on your answer, what happens, Angel? If there's no unit on your answer, what happens? I do what? No, I don't. What do I do on your quiz or test paper or anything else?
You don't take it as an answer. It's wrong.
I take points off. I don't mark the whole thing wrong. It's only been 2 months. Come on. Haven't been that long. I will take points off your answer. I will not mark the whole thing wrong. All right, it's a -1. So make sure you put your unit on. All right, let's do one more, and then I'm going to give you something to try. All right, so let's say that we have, I don't know, 12.5 decagrams, and you're going to decigrams. All right, y'all tell me all the steps. Darian. Yeah, right over here. Max, do you have one? There in the tub, right over there. All right, so what do I do first? Okay. What goes on top? Lolly, what do I do first? Nope, too far along in the process. Lewis, what do I do first? You put the what on top? The given data. What am I given in the question? 12.5 decagrams. All right, then what do I do? Tell me what I do next. My other angel. What don't I want? Yep. What I put on the top? Denasia. What I put on the top? Okay. And who's bigger? Almaja. Who? Thank you. Remember, I'm getting old. Say it like you mean it and I can hear you. All right. How many spaces do you think there are, Alex? Holt. Gotta remember there's 2 of y'all. There are 2 spaces. Okay. So, for those of you who might not have been with Alex, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Deca's here to the baseline to deci. That's how you got 2 spaces. So I put 2 zeros and a 1. All right, so what am I going to do to calculate it? Somebody tell me what I do to punch that in the calculator. 12.5 times 100. And then do you have to do the divide by 1? No. So 12.5 times 100 will be 1,250 decigrams. Feel okay about how to do it? I'm going to give you all 3 to try. All right. Let's say 1,215 millimeters, and I want you to change that to decimeters. 44.6 kilograms. Change that into hectograms. And number 3, let's go with 4.17 DECA leaders and change that into Millie leaders. All right, do those 4. And I'll roam around and help anybody who wants to ask me a question, which would be fabulous. Okay, so we got these two things. Who's bigger? Should be here, 100 should be better. That's all we know. We should have it. That's right. The numbers are just flipped. Okay. So you come back there. You have it. You just would put one there. 100 down. Okay. So up here, you have that one's good. This one here. One, so you can shoot it here. One small shot. That's all you do. And then this one looks okay. Okay, that's all you do. Watch out. All right, can we look at some answers? I think I got to everybody. All right, so in the first one, y'all had 12, 15 millimeters, millimeters on the bottom, decimeters on the top. Who's the biggest? Decimeters. How many spaces? 2 and a 1. You got 12.15 decimeters. Yes? Yes?
Yeah.
All right. 44.6 kilograms. Kilograms, hectograms. Who's bigger? How many spaces? So 10, you get 446 hectograms. Everybody okay with that? Yes. All right, 4.17 deciliters to milliliters. So deciliters, milliliters. 1, how many spaces is that one? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 4, but I heard somebody say 5. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should only have 4 zeros there. Because 1, 2, baseline is 3. 1, 2, 3 is the baseline. 4 is deca. Okay, so that's going to give us 41700. So 41,700 milliliters. Everybody okay? All right, the last thing we're going to do today is talk about volumes. What time we get out of here? Because they changed the bell schedule on me. And I put the bell schedule at the back. Hold on. I got it somewhere else. I think it's 9:55 this year, unless they fix it or change it because of grab and go. I think it's 9:55. Yep, 9:55. Okay. All right. So we're going to finish the day with volumes. All right. Now, there's 2 things we want to talk about and hopefully learn how to do before we get out of here today. Those of you who have allied health probably talked about this, but can't swear to it. All right. In volumes, we're going to talk about, now I need to go back. Scratch that. And then talk about derived units. volume is a derived unit because I will ask you something about it and I will have skipped it. So let me talk about this. What's a derived unit? What does the word derived mean in English class? To come from, okay? So a derived unit means to come from a formula. Okay? One of the ones that we will talk about later down the road when we get to the gas laws will be area. All right? Tell me the formula that you learned for area, probably middle elementary school, maybe third, fourth grade. Length times width. Okay? Now, if we were going to label its SI unit and its common unit, all right, what is the SI unit for length? Talked about it a little while ago. Meter. All right, what's the SI unit for width? What? I thought I heard it, but it must have been Miss Rector. What's the SI unit for width? What? Yeah. All right, so if you're in math class, what do you get when you say a meter times a meter? Meter squared. All right, so meter squared is the SI unit. Let me go grab a meter stick real quick. All right, a meter stick is this way, and then a meter that way, okay? That's huge for an area. Well, let's say I want to know the area of this desk, all right? Are we going to measure area this way and this way with a meter stick? No. So we need something smaller. So what are some common units we might use for area? All right, you've gone back to English. So think metrics. Centimeters, what? Give me one more. Okay, so what do all the areas have in common? Okay, so in order to recognize an area, area is squared. Okay, area is squared, and meter squared is the SI unit. Now we can do volume. Because volume is a derived unit also. All right, everybody with me? All right. So volume. Tell me what you know the formula is. Learned it probably around the same time you learned area. Okay. Now, you might have learned the triangle one too, but we're going to use this one because we're not going to do triangles. Length times width times height. Now, if we follow the same procedure to get the SI unit, what's the SI unit for length? Meter. What's the SI unit for width? And what's the SI unit for height? So what do we get here? Meters cubed. Okay, so this is the SI unit for volume. Now, I have had to go on a diet. I've lost 11 pounds in 3 weeks because the doctor wants to put me on those blood pressure medicine. I refuse to have to take 2 blood pressure medications just for teenagers. So, I've decided I'm going to lose weight and manage my blood pressure that way. So imagine I've had to give up Pepsi. Angel can tell you what a struggle that has been for me. Because there was not a day last year I did not have a Pepsi in my hand during the 4th period. It was my coping mechanism. So, for me to have given up Pepsi since August the 1st is a hurdle you just don't know. And for me to be a pleasant person right now without a Pepsi in my hand, you all need to be thankful. So, imagine a meter this way, a meter that way, and a meter that way. And that's the volume of Pepsi we have to go pick up at Food Line. Most of us wouldn't be able to lift it, okay? So that's the SI unit. We need a forklift to be able to drag home my Pepsi that I'd love to be able to have, but I can't have anymore. So, if we're gonna carry home Pepsi, what's a common unit? Because none of us are carrying home a meter cubed of Pepsi. Because I don't think any of us have a forklift in the garage. So, what are some common units? A what? Centimeter what? Okay. All right. Now, those are the only ones we're going to put up here that are cubed. All right. And I'll put over here most volumes are cubed. Not all. Think about other ways y'all buy drinks. Don't go to gallons and ounces and things of that nature. Liters. There we go. What other way? Very similar to this.
Milliliter.
There you go. Milliliters. Those are the most common ways. Now, because some of the units are cubed and some of the units are not cubed, we have to know how to convert between something that is cubed and something that is not cubed. That's where the challenge comes in with volume. Okay? So, how are we going to go between something that is cubed and something that's not cubed? Well, that's where I said you might have learned about this in allied health or health sciences. So, somewhere back in your background, someone may have told you a centimeter cubed was the same as a milliliter. They might have even said it was the same as a cc. Okay? We, in science class, write them as centimeters cubed, cm with a 3. But a cc is the same because it just means centimeter cubed. And it's a different way to write it. It's all the same thing. Okay? So, what are we going to do with that? Well, suppose that we have 455 centimeters cubed, and we want to change that to milliliters. Well, what do we know about centimeters cubed and milliliters? They equal each other, okay? Now, most people look at this and go, they're the same. They're equal. So, they just write 455 milliliters and call it a day. They don't draw a chart. Some people are like, I got to draw a chart, Miss Wall. So if you're one of those people and you're like, I got to draw a chart. How do you fill in a chart if you are one of the people that has to draw a chart? What do you put in your chart? What do you put in the chart? You put ones. Now, you can do that every day of the week. I typically tell people to recognize they're the same and do that. Why do you think I don't push people to draw a chart? It is extra work, yes. But what do you suppose the mistake is that people make when they do this? They don't put a 1 somewhere. They look at this and they say, who's bigger? Centi. And then they say milli is smaller. And they look at their chart and they do this. And that's wrong every day of the week. Okay? So that's why I'm not a big supporter of the chart here. Because they forget these two units are one and the same. You can do this as long as you remember these two items are the same. Now, what happens when I do this? What do we do here? What do we do there?
You convert liters to milliliters?
Mm-hmm. The easiest way to do this is to remember centimeters cubed is the same as a what? It's the same as a milliliter. Most people have no idea what to do with that centimeter cubed. But you know a centimeter cubed is the same as a what? Milliliter. So you're just changing 25.8 liters into milliliters, okay? Which we just practiced today. So once you recognize that centimeters cubed is the same as a milliliter, you can make that change. So who's bigger, a liter or a milliliter? So you put a 1 there, and then you do your King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. And how many spaces are there between your baseline and your milli? 1, 2, 3. So 3 zeros. Use your calculator. And you get milliliters, which is the same as centimeters cubed. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes or no? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you one more thing. And we're going to work on this again tomorrow. .2 meters cubed to decimeters cubed. Now, look at what's different in the question. Both units are what? Cubed. There's only one step that's different in the question. Okay? So what goes on top? 50.2 meters cubed. Who goes on the bottom?
Meters cubed.
What goes on top? Who's bigger, a meter or a decimeter? Okay. How many spaces if I write King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk? Who's bigger, deci or meter? Here, meter. So we put a 1 there. How many spaces between meter and deci? 1, 0, and a 1, right? All right, so here's the new piece. If both units are cubed, both, okay, cube the numbers. So I'm going to cube the 10, and I'm going to cube the 1. That's the only thing that changes. I'd never touch the starting data. Did I draw 3 on that 50.2? I only cube the what? The 10 and the 1. Okay? So, Bill says 9:55. Don't leave till I give you your homework. Because I'm sure people are going to make a mass exodus because they're not going to say disregard that bell. Because the bell schedule says 9:55. All right, on the homework sheet, we're doing
Matthew Lyles, please come to the main office. Matthew Lyles, please come to the main office, please.
I'm doing 8. Put your calculators in the tub over there. Why did you got a new bell schedule and don't hand those everybody in your right? Somebody wants to kind of hand these out so like the handicap girl had out papers. That would be really nice. Thanks, by the way. I did the staff meeting, they had a handicap girl doing everything. Remind me tomorrow to show y'all how to use the website. I thought I had 5 minutes left.